G'day guys. So we're going to be doing something a little bit different with today's video, and this might turn out to be a series of videos, we'll see. As you can tell by the surrounds here, we're out in the forest. We're in Kuitpo forest to be specific, and we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a fishing exploration video today. So I've got the fishing gear with me. I'm not really sure how this is going to turn out. There's a lot of like ponds out here in the forest. Some of them are big, some of them are small. I haven't visited any of the ones down here in the south. Yeah. So we're basically just going to wander out and have a fish and see how we go, see if there's anything around. The thrust of this exploration is back in 1981 to present. The state and national record for South Australia for redfin was caught in one of these ponds in the Kuitpo area by a Mr. Bob Hentosz. I don't have a measurement on the fish, but I know that it weighed in around 2.6 kilos, which is a massive redfin. Huge. So anyway, we're gonna wander around, check out some of these ponds. I have no details about whether it was a public access pond or whether it was a private pond, or there's so many in the hills down here, but I'll have a look at the ones I can have a look at and basically see if there's still fish around in them. So yeah, stick with me and I'll film what I can, and yeah, hopefully find some fish. Alright, excuse the heavy breathing. It was a little bit of a hill to climb up there, but just coming up on our first dam to check out. Looks like a pretty standard forestry dam, very similar to some of the ones I fish up around Lenswood. It's very clear actually, so it's a good sign. Quite large and quite full. I say large, doesn't go back a long way, doesn't look like it has a heap of depth, but perhaps bigger than I was expecting. A little bit of a blue-green tint to the water, that's okay. I'm not seeing any bait fish straight off the bat, but yeah. We'll sling some casts around and see how we go. I'm just fishing a little BFS setup, Calcutta Conquest BFS on a Shimano X Pride. It's not really a BFS rod, but there's your specs there. I'm going to start on a little 1/8 micro spinnerbait, and we'll probably end up switching to maybe a plastic or a little hard body if there's anything around. I'm not seeing any bait fish in the water at the moment, but yeah, I'll throw a few casts around and see if anything turns up. Alright, so we're just slowly working our way around the edge here. Haven't caught anything yet, haven't had a follow, but I am seeing bait fish. I'm pretty sure they're actually Galaxius, which are a native species. Let's see if I can zoom in on them. They're out there. So I haven't got close to them yet. I haven't had any follows. They are quite large. I am pretty certain that they're not mosquito fish or gambusia. Yeah, I'm wandering along this bank now for a look, so it's a good sign. It means there's probably water in here at most times of the year. But yeah, I mean, even if there's no like redfin in here, it's good to see there's some Galaxius, because you know, anywhere you can maintain native species in the water is a good thing. So, alright, I'm going to move around there shortly and I'll come back into you. Alright, I'm getting a bit closer to these guys. I think they've just dropped below the surface a little bit, but I'm actually second guessing my identification a little bit. Perhaps they are redfin. They appear to have bands on them. They've just dropped really low in the water column. They must have seen me and I've spooked them. Yeah, they look like they've got maybe 3 or 4 dark bands on them, which would suggest maybe they are perch, but I got to get a better look, so I might just have to sit here still for a little bit till they come back. Alrighty, sorry for the ultra close up there. I've just spotted them again. They've just moved into the shadows a little bit, so I've just dropped the gear. Drop the gear here and leave it, and I'm going to try and creep up on them real slow. I do have the sun in my favour here. It's not casting my shadow on the water, but if they're in the shadows, it does make them a little bit hard to see. I don't know that they're going to show up on the camera, and I'm pretty sure they can see me. They've just spooked again. Be tough to get up close and personal with. I know you can't see much on the camera. Alright, I'll keep walking around and see if I can spot any more. Righty, still haven't got them to pop back up again yet, but I'm going to have a slight change of plan on the fishing front. I kind of wish I'd brought my micro gear out here with me, but I didn't. Just got the BFS. I've just taken the micro spinnerbait off, just thrown on a little MX40, which is my go-to trout fishing lure. Now, if these fish are small redfin, they'll have no issues whatsoever crunching that. Even if they're Galaxius, I potentially will get an aggression follow. They're pretty spicy little fish, Galaxius, and they are predatory, so they're basically native trout. Yeah, whether I'll get one on that lure or not, I don't know. But yeah, we'll give it a go. See if I can cast it on this rod. It's pretty light. Alright, I'll come back to you in a moment. Alrighty, I've been fishing for a little bit. I've lost the sun. It's gone behind the clouds a little bit. I got a follow on the MX40 from the last clip, and then lost the school of fish. I wasn't able to see him anymore. So I've just flipped around. I was fishing from over there before. Just jumped over here. Gone through a couple more lure changes. Didn't get anything, but I have just switched up to a small plastic, as you can see here. So I think it's a 1.5 inch strike tiger grub. We're on a 132 jig head, which is much too big in a hook size for this plastic. But I have just had my first bite, so I'm going to persist with it, and we're going to see how we go. I might see if I can get the camera set up somewhere, so I can film if I do get a bite, and I'll just fish here for a little bit. Alright, hopefully I'm in frame and you can somewhat hear me. This is right on the lower limit to the casting ability of this particular combo. If I had a slightly whippier rod, I'd be able to cast it a bit better, but we'll see how we go. Just send it out and see if I can get another bite. Not quite where I wanted it. That's alright. getting some little flicks on the line. I suspect the fish are just a little small to be able to actually suck in the lure. A little bit of, I hesitate to call it weed. I don't think it's weed. I think it's actually an algae, like a chara or something like that. Most of the bottom of the pond is covered in it. Makes it a little bit hard to fish hard on the bottom, but with a, as I say, I'm fishing a 132 weight, it doesn't like bomb into it or anything. Two minds at the moment, whether I stick it out here and keep chasing these small fish, or I've got a ton of ponds to explore, so definitely going to be a multi-part series if I make a video out of this. Equally, while I'm here though, if there's fish here, I want to be trying to get a fish, so we'll see. Alrighty, so got a few more bites on the plastic, but nothing like committal. As I say, I have all my microfishing gear with me. It's in the car. I wasn't expecting to encounter Galaxius or anything like that. So I've had to make do with what I've been able to find in my bag. So I've got a small treble that I've cut down, and I've got a split shot that I've opened back out to reuse. And I've actually managed to fossick up a cricket, so this is basically a setup. We're going to fish a live cricket with a split shot on the bottom, and we're going to see if one of these guys out here wants to grab it. We'll see how we go. I'll set you back up where I had you before and press record and we'll see if we can get a fish. Alrighty, no guarantees this is going to get a look, but we'll give it our best shot. Shit all over my rib. Alright. Let's hope the cricket stays on. Nowhere near where I wanted it, but see what happens. Might try and get it out where I was getting the fish before. Oh, my cricket's gone. Alright. That didn't last long. Alright guys, I found this school of fish again. They're out here. Only seems to be maybe a dozen of them. I'm not sure if they're going to show up on the camera or not. Definitely they're coming towards me at the moment actually. Anyway, I'll creep up slowly and I'll try and get a zoomed in shot of what they actually look like. Alright guys, well I finally caught one and they are redfin. Tiny little guys. Bear with me a moment. Literally the hardest redfin I've ever had to try and catch. So I'm still using the bait rig without the cricket, but I've gone just to cut down soft plastic on there with the split shot still. And yeah, he's picked that up. So I think that school of fish is actually redfin. And they're just feeding in a manner that is different to what I've ever encountered before. I've never had so much trouble trying to get a redfin to bite. But yeah, we'll see if we can get a couple more, and we'll keep at it. Right, I have filmed the outro, but I'll try and edit this in beforehand. If anyone's seen my short, or perhaps any of my new subscribers are watching, have found some more ghost mushrooms. Now, obviously I'm not going to be able to show these guys glowing because it's broad daylight at the moment. But yeah, these guys would be glowing good and proper. I'm pretty sure these are ghost mushrooms anyway. It's a really big example. So it's my hand just for scale. Yeah, didn't actually see them when I walked in. I've been expecting to see them. This is like where, you know, Kuitpo Forest is kind of famous for them. But yeah, pond's just down here. Awesome. Alrighty, so I think we're going to wrap it up at this dam. Fished along the bank a little bit more. I'm back in the corner along the dam wall here now. It's good to confirm some redfin in the dam. Where there's little ones, there's always the chance of a big one. It was interesting to see the unique way in which they seem to be feeding in this dam. They seem to be keyed on very small prey and schooling on the surface, which is not something I've really seen redfin do. I haven't seen any bait fish in this dam either, like gambusia or galaxius, I guess, since we found out that school of fish was redfin. So they're potentially not keyed in onto fish baits, which might be why I had to work so hard to get them on a lure. I'm just going to switch around. So there is obviously yabbies in this dam. I've got evidence here, a pair of claws left over, which is usually all that remains after a cormorant or bird or a ricali or something. Probably not any ricali in the pond here, but after a bird's caught a yabby and finished it off, for whatever reason they seem to leave the claws. Yeah, so I guess we'll wrap that up for episode 1 of In the Footsteps of Bob. And yeah, we'll move on to the next dam. Good to get a fish off the board first go, even if it was a small one. Alrighty, I know there wasn't a whole lot of actual me fishing in that video. I've still only got the mobile phone camera. I don't roll with a tripod generally, so I just use whatever I can find. Yeah, but I'll endeavour to improve the quality of this sort of content as I go along, if there's any want for it. Yeah, alright, we'll see you in the next one.